Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Photographic Memory Podcast. I'm excited to welcome to the program Dr. Shannon Panzo. Dr. Shannon, what's going on? How are you?
Oh, hey, things are happening here. I'm having a great day, and let's just get started.
Yes, again, Dr. Shannon is a brain management expert, a photographic memory expert, and also he does mentoring. And really, trust me, the mentoring that he's able to provide will really guide you on your way because he really understands how people think and what is important. And that's through photographic memory, which Dr. Shannon has talked about in so many ways. Because if you don't listen to a conversation, if you're not understanding people's paths based on all the knowledge that Dr. Shannon has. So, fear of learning photographic memory. Just kidding on that one, but we could talk about the importance of it, how it kept you from being blown up, how it has helped you get out of certain situations or circumstances or identify things that are not the right choice to make. But let's talk about fear. We talked about fear in just the simplistic things of just, animals or bees or certain reactions that all made you fearful. Now, today, we're going to talk more about fear in a sense that's keeping you from going where you need to go in life, right?
Right. Well, fear can be expressed in so many different ways. Everyone has what is called a paradigm or their box of reality. That box of reality is the borders of that box are your limitations, and those are controlled by your fears. So, whenever you're born, you don't have any limitations, you don't have any fears. And along the way, these things are installed in you. And along the way, you get to learn all the things that you should now fear. And some of those may be reasonable, but some of those may not be reasonable. These are things that really predict where you're going to be going in life. If you have a lot of fear, you're not going to go very far very fast because you're going to be taking too many steps. If you have less fear, then you're going to go a lot quicker, a lot easier. Some people call it risk taking. Okay, there's risk taking, but there's also risk taking that involves knowledge, and that knowledge makes it a lot easier to predict the outcome. Make sense?
Makes complete sense.
Okay. So, whenever we're talking about fear here, in order to decrease fear, you need to increase the quality and the amount of information that you have. Now, all the way back in 1995, over 25 years ago, at that point, and it's mainly because of the internet, at that point, there was over 1 million books, new books being written every year at that point. Just think how many new books are being written 25 years later.
Yeah, a lot.
There's huge amount of books being written every year on any particular topic. You have in if you're trying to read, you're you're so limited, you're so bottlenecked because
Right.
of reading that there is no way that you could choose any one topic and cover all the material in that one topic because there's so many books out about every topic that is out there. It is important for you to catch up to the speed of what is required today. And that's where I come in. I teach mental photography, which uses your photographic memory. And your photographic memory is the way to do things. It's a natural, automatic way of doing things. You're born with it. You just have lost contact with it along the way. Now, when it comes to fear, anytime, anytime that you take in large volumes of information, anytime that you're getting quality information, this allows you to progress much faster in whatever you're doing. Now, the mental photography allows you to take in this information a lot faster, uh, easily 50, 100,000 words per minute. We have
Yes.
people doing mental photography in excess of 1 million words per minute.
Wow.
And I know that those numbers may seem rather unjustified at this particular moment. You'll probably say, "Wait a minute, Shannon, you're uh, you're talking silliness to me." Well, no, we're not. It's just that when people are more experienced with this, they can take on more. Now, we start people at 25 to 50,000 words per minute. That's where this starts. It's a completely different brain function than what reading is. Reading is a
Right.
taught brain function, whereas mental photography, since it's based in photographic memory, is a natural brain function. There's a big difference there. And this allows you to take in the information. Okay, so back to fear.
Right.
Whatever you want to do in life, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to motivate yourself, typically what you will do is you will find out information about whatever that is. But if you're able to gather quick information that is quality information about what that movement is, then you don't have to have the fear in order to get there. You can just move through it. So, in other words, let's say something near and dear to us, since I talk to a lot of people that are in their own business. The fear of moving forward, the fear of decision making. Well, if you don't have good information about the decision that you're going to make, then the chances of you making a good decision to a great decision, you're going to be hampered by that because you don't have the information, so you don't have the confidence. And I would say confidence and fear are pretty much opposing forces. So whenever you have the confidence, you can make the proper adjustments. You can make the proper decisions, and this will allow you to go through a lot easier. Now, sometimes, even though you really feel that you've made the proper decision, everything else, sometimes you still fail. Well, these are called lessons, and you can use these lessons to actually give you even better information. And this is the reason why. If you're always successful at something, you don't ever have any lessons. So you just
No,
glide through
exactly.
life. You're always successful. Whenever you fail, this is where you actually start to debrief yourself what went wrong. And this is very
Correct.
important to your growth. Success doesn't necessarily mean growth. Failure stimulates growth. Does that make sense?
Makes complete sense.
Okay. So as long as we're on the right track. Now, whenever we're doing these things, we're going through life, we're having our successes, we're having our failures. It's always good to it always feels good to have a success, but that doesn't mean that that's going to give you the growth that you need. So when it comes to fear and the way that we handle it through quality information, and we're going to put it out there in the right way. Uh, what do you have to add to this in maybe some of your
Yeah, yeah,
experiences?
no, so no, I agree that when you learn from your mistakes, you learn from different things. If you constantly are not succeeding to the level you want to succeed, you have to reflect and say, why? What's keeping me doing this? Okay, I tried this. A result was semi good, but how can I make it better? How can I? Oh, and I failed by utilizing this, or I failed by doing this, by not tweaking this, or not handling this the way I need to handle it. And then, if you're willing to make those changes and move forward, you will grow further, and that will lead to more success in the long run. However, it's not the short game; it's the long game in life.
Right. It's not necessarily winning the battle, it's winning the war, whatever that war may be.
Correct.
And whenever you're self-employed, uh, the war is the war is dealing with your personal business, dealing with that, making it successful. Uh, and through that, you will have trials and tribulations. That's just a necessary part of it. Okay. So,
Definitely agree. Yeah, yeah.
any insights?
The insights with that, and this is the trials and tribulations lead to a specific thing that takes us to the next area. When we have trials and tribulations, we start to use fear in our minds. We start thinking, oh, I must be really not good at this, or this was really a dumb decision I made. And I'm going to think that the next thing is going to be the same result. And that's when you're not utilizing trials and tribulations in the right way. Is that correct, Dr. Shannon?
Well, you're learning by leaps and bounds already. Obviously, you have
Yeah,
plenty of life experience.
so plenty of life experience with different things. So if you have failure, but then you're expecting this, or you have taken a risk, a calculated risk, but yet you don't see the result at the beginning, and you start saying, well, why did this happen now? What do you do, Dr. Shannon?
Okay. Well, the first thing is, if you don't already have it, you get Zuxpro training. You
Okay.
learn what mental photography is and you start using it. And as anything crops up in life and you need to gather more information about it, you use the mental photography to assimilate that information. And that's going to give you a much deeper, broader concept of whatever that information holds for you. Remember, whenever you read something, you only get 5% of the material. Whenever you mentally photograph the material, you get 100% of the material for the rest of your life because it goes directly to your long-term memory. Then by you engaging yourself in whatever that activity is, what you're then doing is you're stimulating the recall to basically a natural process of
Right.
downloading that information into a usable format for you to make your decisions upon. Some of these decisions will be based in intuition. Intuition is using your long-term memory because your long-term memory has so much more information in
Right.
it than your short-term memory. It's your subconscious. We refer to it as subconscious memory. So that has a lot more information than your conscious mind ever will. Your conscious mind is rather limited as to what it can do. So by you using it intuition, yeah, it's going to feel like guessing. At least that's how it starts until you
Right.
start believing in yourself. But this is how you get the job done, and you can further do this with your own personal programming. You can further direct yourself to gain those goals and do what you need to do. So again, all these different pieces of equipment are what? They're about overcoming fear
Right.
through excessive amounts of great information.
Correct.
And and that will make your life a lot stress less. You will have a
Yes.
lot less stress going on in your life because you won't be living your life in fear.
And the fear leads to stress in so many ways, it sounds like.
Oh, fear is a little mind killer. We've all heard that before.
Awesome. So the best thing people need to do now is go to zuxpro.com and sign up for Zuxpro today.
Absolutely, it's a great step in your life if you haven't done so already.
And before you
And for
know it,
those that are,
mentoring, I was about to mention
go ahead.
mentoring, you're almost full, right? So you better contact you today to get mentoring.
I never have I never have a lot of slots in the mentoring simply because I do it all person to person. I don't have any pre-recorded stuff that I dish out to people. That's not mentoring. That's something else. That's
Right.
probably like coaching.
Gotcha.
But mentoring is taking a responsible position in helping people, and that's what I do.
Awesome. All right. So zuxpro.com. Check it out today. And appreciate it, Dr. Shannon. And I'm going to think about when things don't go right to not have fear that everything is going wrong. Think that what lesson did I learn from that area of failure and move forward, or not failure, but a bad day, and move forward from that to not continue to repeat the same thing over and over again. Then that would be true fear, because you wouldn't want that to happen, right?
Oh, that's called insanity.
Exactly, it's insanity. Okay, all right, guys, that was the Photographic Memory Podcast. Take care, guys, and we'll talk next time.